Hey everybody, welcome to our Georgia Suburban Homestead. And tonight we have Brampton Gardener. Is it Rachel or Rochelle?
Rochelle.
Rochelle. She's
Yep.
here and we're going to just chit chat. But we're both crafters, so we'll probably end up talking a lot about our crafts. Let's see. It's just you and I in here right now, so we can sing.
So far. Well, I'm just organizing all of the items that I had got printed out today, and I'm not sure I have these lined up in the right order. So.
Okay, I'm restarting YouTube because it's not showing us as being live.
I don't have YouTube open on my page because I don't want to.
Okay, here we are. Things are starting to work. Yeah, I do that usually. I'm going to need that in order. I'm going to have...
Yeah, I usually just pop out the chat. Like I have the chat popped out and it's on this side so that I can see the chat because you can't always see the chat when you're in. You can't chat when you're in StreamYard as a guest sometimes. It's hard.
All right.
So I think these are turning out pretty cute, but I'm thinking some of them are way more detailed than others, and I'm wondering if I missed cutting some things out. Because some of these are like super detailed. Like
So
you have
what are
3
these
layers.
made from?
These are just cardstock.
Cardstock?
Yeah. So there's this cute little house, but then this little house, it feels like it's missing the top piece. Right?
Yeah, I might need something colorful.
Like
Are those
everything
meant
else
to hang on
has,
a tree?
it's supposed to be a garland, so everything else has more
Oh, hey Suzanne,
detail.
welcome in.
Hi, Suzanne.
She's my one and only moderator other than Charlie.
Oh, okay. And then this, like this makes sense that there's only 2 layers because it's not a,
Pretty.
you know. And then I got the snowman. There's only 2 layers there. That's fine.
How long does it take you to do these?
Well, we did it tonight on the Cricut at the library. So it was a
Frequent,
2-hour
thank
program.
you for coming in. Good to meet you or see you. Don't mind me, my brain's not working.
Took us about an hour and a half to do both projects, but that was with her sitting there talking us through the steps, and then we all did the steps, and then we did the rest. And depending on how detailed it is, I think this project here were 5 pages to cut that I had to cut through on the Cricut. This one there were the 4 pages for the little sign.
Wow.
But I feel like I'm missing. I don't know. This doesn't feel right to me either.
I love the puppy.
Lining up.
He's so pretty.
He matches the couch. He's blending right in. On my live the other day, I don't think people realized he was still back there.
Yeah, he was all over you on that during your live. And for some reason, I couldn't talk to you.
That is so weird. And Dawn Ridge commented and left a message saying, I was typing in the chat and nobody could see her comments. And then Tamara Dink and I can't think of the channel name, but she was struggling too. She had to like reboot a couple times. And I've noticed I've had trouble going into people's chats and like the box isn't available at the bottom.
YouTube must be doing something crazy.
Yeah, it happened to me like on Jesse and Lisa, and I was like, well, is the live over? But then I turned on the TV thinking maybe my phone was screen had frozen up and they were there. So then I backed out, closed all my apps, reopened it, and I had to do it a couple of times. You need to update your browser to fix the chat talks. Oh,
maybe. Okay. Charlie, Suzanne's asking, how are you?
It's a brand new laptop and I'm just using Edge on it. So maybe it needs to have a better.
Yes, very quick. Thank you. Well, my
browser.
computer updates on a regular basis. I get up in the morning, come in, and it's rebooted. And
Yeah. I mean, mine was doing updates because it was brand new, but maybe it just needs a different browser. I think
well,
upstairs. Well, StreamYard
I
doesn't
use
always work.
Chrome.
StreamYard I struggle with on Firefox.
Yeah, I'm using Chrome.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of new channels out there, homesteading channels and channels that we're competing with, and it seems like a lot of people are live tonight at this time.
Well, tonight is Homestead Hangout. So there's like 4 channels that do lives in a row.
Okay,
So yeah, in the homesteading community right now, you're going to have Land's Promised Land Ranch, and then you're going to have 9 Acre Farms are going to be live.
so that's a change since I chose Thursday night.
That's one of the reasons because I used to do Thursday nights back in the day, and then I quit doing it for a bit because I was traveling and I was busy doing that. And then when I came back to Thursday nights, it was like people had just filled in Thursday night already. So I was like, okay. And then I never picked a night. So now it's just random whenever I go live. So
Yeah, Charlie's saying he's Reflect on Light, if you didn't know.
oh,
He
okay.
says he's
Hi,
fine.
Charlie.
Thanks. Went to cardiac rehab today. Yeah,
Oh, good.
we both start back on Monday. I had to stop my rehab in July when I developed a sore that I had to have surgery on, and
Oh,
it's down there from riding those stationary bikes.
oh,
At rehab, I got a really
yeah.
bad sore that had to be cut out, and then the doctor was like, "Well, don't do anything that causes friction. How am I supposed to exercise?" So I've given it a chance to heal,
You
and
do like the recumbent?
yeah, well, there are several different bikes that put you on, but given
Oh,
where I rub the sores, where the seat is, no matter what type of seat you're
where?
on. So we start Monday. Then Charlie decided between then and now that having a heart attack was a good idea. So he did his thing. Yeah.
You don't want to be
So
left out.
he didn't want to be left out, and he's doing a lot better than I am. And
Oh,
I complained about that with the person who's going to be putting us through our paces, and she said that since my chest was cracked, and they opened me up and lifted my heart out, that it's going to
right.
take me a lot longer than him. He just had stents put in, and he's almost as good as new. Um, so I'm very fortunate. I'm very happy that he's still with me. Um,
Yeah, gosh, you guys trying to scare everybody this year, huh?
yeah, I'm like, what are the chances of both people in a household having heart problems in the same year? But both of us have the genetics predisposition
Oh,
to it.
yeah.
So, yeah, and they look at our
I get it
diet.
from my mom's side.
Yeah.
So she had a stroke.
So she looked at our diet and shows you we don't need to adjust anything. And we're like, we know, right?
Yeah,
We eat a very
well,
healthy
that's good.
diet. But thanks to
I'm
moms
just
and
gonna grab my
dads.
tea. It's right here. Just a second. I'm gonna grab my tea.
I scared you away already. Oh, what you drinking?
It's just a David's herbal tea with a fancy little tea bag. I don't know what's in there. It's got all
Dried
kinds of goodness.
herbs.
Little balls of fruit and stuff in there too.
Oh, nice.
My
Yeah.
favorite one is called Forever Nuts.
Forever nuts. What's
And
a
it's
nut?
got nuts. But it's got like I think there's like dried fig and I don't know, it's kind of got a wintry, Christmassy blend to it. It's really good. It's really good. But this one's more of a minty.
Well, I've got my forever present diet Dr. Pepper, and I got a finger wagged at me for that.
Yeah, it does kind of contradict the conversation we were just having.
Well, I don't smoke. I don't drink. You got to have some vice. So I cuss and I drink Diet Dr. Pepper and big
Well,
cups
there
of
you go.
coffee, you know. So tell us a little bit about what you've got going for the holidays.
Uh,
You've already had your
well,
Thanksgiving, right?
we've already had Thanksgiving and Halloween and Diwali. That was all been taken care of. So coming up next, I guess here in Canada, we have, November 11th, and then it's wide open to Christmas. So we're going to be decorating soon. And the craft we went to tonight at the library, we made some little cake toppers. It was a cricket class. So we did cake toppers and then we made some garlands. So I chose the Christmas Village because I'm obsessed with all things Christmas villagey. Um, so I went with purple instead of red. Looking at the color choices they have, this one will match in the living room a little bit better. So we got a star, we got another house, we got the super boring house. I feel like I'm missing something there. I don't know, maybe it fell out in the car or something. And then I got this house. This
You
one
put that
doesn't
on
feel
a
like it's
ribbon.
lining up properly either. Like, should that go on top? Maybe that goes on top. Oh yeah, that looks better. That looks better.
That's pretty.
Okay, I think that goes on top. And then we have a tree. There's an ornament. They're not taped on. I just found all their little places they go. And a stocking and a snowman. He's cute.
He is cute.
So yeah, they have a little hole in the top, and then you're just gonna run it on some string or whatever and hang it up some garland. So
That's cool. That's
that's
cool.
cute.
Are you doing any crafts festivals?
No, I don't do that anymore.
You
I did
don't?
when my daughter was little, and people just don't want to pay for what it costs to make things. And the time and effort I spent ahead of time prepping for it, especially when my daughter was little, it was not cost effective, let's just say.
Hey, I'm.
So
It took us probably a year to start making money. We had to pay for the tent and the hard.
well, that's the thing is you got the booths and everything, and then like I went and I had made a bunch of like really nice, bags and zipper pouches and things like that. And the lady I shared the booth with had made some quilts and some, mini quilts and big quilts. And so our items were ranging anywhere from like I had some cheaper things, but some of it was, like 15, 20, 30, $40, depending on what the items were. And then like right across from us was this little old lady who was selling everything for like $3. And it's like, okay, you know. Um, so I mean it wasn't as nice, but a lot of people were just like, if it's a gift, if it's, and so it was just kind of um that seems to be kind of a problem here is with, people undercutting, certain things, right? So and like she had like these little tiny bags that she had made, whereas I have more of like this is one of the ones I made years ago. It's a little clutch with a little purse strap,
That's really nice,
and
though. I
it's
I'd pay 40,
and a quarter.
$45 for that. How much were you asking for it? Hey, Adrian, welcome, welcome.
Hi, Adrian. This wasn't something that I was selling, but yeah, I mean, the cost of the fabric alone, this was a name brand fabric that was really popular at the time. I mean, you'd have to say at least $40, right?
Yeah.
Because fabric's not cheap. And in a bag like, like this is more of a simple bag, but some bags, I mean, you have the outer fabric, then you have the inner fabric, then you have the interfacing, and then you have some form of usually like a fusible foam, and that's just for the shell of the bag. And then inside the bag, you're going to have the lining, you're going to have the zippers, you're going to have the pockets, you're going to have the straps, and you're going to have the hardware.
So what would you ask for
So then you
something
got to
like
pay
that?
for like the snaps and the
Yeah.
well, some of the bigger purses that I've made with all of that, like it takes literally drop. What's in your mouth? Spit it out. Hold on.
All right.
Drop it. Bring it here. Come on. Drop it.
Yeah, was that pretty, Adrian? What are you eating? What's for dinner? We splurged and we went to an Italian restaurant I haven't been to in almost a year. And I had eggplant parmesan. It's so good. Charlie always orders spaghetti.
Thanks so much.
And the dog ate her. Jerk chicken wraps with white rice.
Oh,
Yum.
yum. Sorry, I panicked. It looked like gum, but it was just a piece of white paper.
Anything for attention.
Gum
So
can be deadly. So
how much will you charge for a bag like that?
like this one or the really,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm terrible at pricing things, right? Because you have to factor in your time, right? And so some of these bags, you're looking at $30 to $40 just in supplies. And that's before you even cut. Um, so a lot of people, if it's a decent bag and it's got, a zipper pocket and, some hardware and stuff on that, I mean, 85 would be your minimum for a lot of the bags. And they'll go up to like 150, 200 if they're like vinyl or whatever. Um, a lot of it just depends on the materials, so your cost, and then um, if you can get a good deal on the fabrics, if you can get a good deal on the batting, um, and the supplies and things like that, and then you have to, decide how much you want to pay yourself, per hour, right? Because some of the bags, like it can take you 6, 7, 8 hours of time to get, you know, some of the bags. Like some of these two that I have here are these were really simple. So this was a really simple, I self-drafted this one because I'd seen a similar bag. So it's got these little pleats here, which is hard to see. It's just a cute little bag. I'm surprised how much it actually can hold. And I made it to match a shirt that was the same fabric. Because it's hard sometimes when I wear like a print shirt to like not have, like it clashes with everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I made it reversible because I made a
Oh, that's
dress out of
cool.
this fabric as well. So I can just use it either
And that goes
way.
in the washing machine.
So then I can use it on either fabric however I want. So,
It's really cute. Does it go in the washing
so
machine?
oh yeah. Oh yeah. They can all go in the washer and dryer. I mean, I wouldn't do that with the vinyl or some of the ones that have a lot of the hardware on it because,
Yeah.
those ones I wouldn't. But this one, yeah, I've washed and dried it before. I made wallets. I actually taught a wallet class probably about 10 years ago at the local sewing shop. No, no. Dropped his toy. Hold on. You're gonna be a pill tonight. I was gone this evening, so he's being sucky.
That's okay. I'm expecting a visit anytime now. Charlie, you still got the window.
And he'll hear him, yeah. And so then yeah, and then I do, some simpler little project like this. So I'm hoping to do what's that on there? I'm hoping to do a few videos on, just sewing maybe like a little mug rug or something simple like this. Monica from Bland's Promised Land Ranch wants to do like a live sewing project, which could be hilarious and scary at the same time.
Well,
And then I have this, and a lot of times if I make something that's like a holiday specific, I like to do the backing in like a Dexter
he's okay.
in like an everyday fabric
Yeah.
because then you're not like having to store double, right? So a lot of times if I'm doing like a gift and I make one side Christmas, I'll make the other side like fall or Thanksgiving, or springy or something they can use. So I made this one a few years ago and it fits my coffee table because I have a square coffee table. And so
That's
there's
that's
presents.
pretty. Yeah.
And
So
then the back is
live
just
sewing.
this.
So
And
why
then I
don't we
just have this on the back. So
I'd say let's do a sewing live together, but I don't sew. I weave.
I've never done a sewing live. I might need a 5-second delay. A lot of swearing goes on in sewing sometimes. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I swear all the time, and I'm wondering if YouTube picks up on it. I don't have too much of a potty mouth, do I?
I don't think I usually do on my lives. A few low grade ones, but not
Yeah,
the big ones, hopefully.
I've got quite a vocabulary.
And
People
then this
ask.
summer, my daughter and I went to trying to get all this in case I get that phone call. So
Okay.
we went to a pottery class at the library.
Oh, that's fun.
and we made mugs. So this is mine, and it
That's
has
a
a little slot
ceramic,
here for the tea
poured
bag.
ceramic.
Yeah. And so she came to the library and she had all the clay for us. She rolled it out and then we had to cut it and shape it and um,
I
put the
like that.
designs on it. And then she took it, put it in the kiln, fired it, glazed it, and then came back and then we painted them about a month later. And then she took them back again and glazed them. And then we got to pick them up um, a bit later. So I think they ended up doing over 100.
Yeah, Adrian said
You
she'd
might
love
get
to do
flagged for
that.
that. I'm not sure.
Um, I used to do a lot of that, Adrian. I even threw pottery. I have a kick wheel and a kiln, but they're in Florida in my barn. Yeah, we were doing some craft shows, and my pottery booth looked like every other potter's booth, right? So I got
Yeah.
thinking, what can I do to set my booth apart? So I decided to learn to weave, and I would weave table runners or placemats to go with the pottery because I did functional pottery. So you know how women shop, I've got to have this because it complements that. And once I sat at a loom and bought my first loom, I never sat at the wheel again. I had so much fun
Oh,
weaving. And
yeah.
when people would come in my house, they'd buy my weaving before I even took it off the loom. So now I don't get many visitors, and I've got 11 looms. I'm about to sell two of my largest looms. Hopefully, I find a buyer. Uh, because my back isn't good enough anymore to get, you have to get under the loom to thread all the things.
Oh,
And I just, if I
yeah.
get under there, you'll never see me again. They'll find me weeks later, belly up with all the yarn all over me.
You gotta hire someone to come and do your attachments. Yeah.
Yeah. Charlie would be willing to, but he's got such vertigo that
Oh, yeah.
he can't move his head or whatever. And I would probably record him retching under the loom. This is the act of love for my.
He can't use like a roller, like a car.
No, I mean, just getting out of bed in the morning, he's like gagging with
Oh,
vertigo.
yeah.
Yeah, he's turning over in bed. And we don't
Does
think
the ear
that's
exercise things.
so. This exercise that we start on Monday, it'll be interesting to watch how well he
Oh,
does.
yeah.
So getting
Well, at
old is
least
so
you'll have
much
people
fun.
there. Oh, it's awful. It's awful.
Ah,
Hey, Pia.
hey, welcome. Are you running us live too, Rochelle? You don't need
No,
the hours, I guess. You're welcome to do that.
no, I don't know. No.
Everyone who's come in, don't forget thumbs up helps this channel. And if you
Oh, but
share,
I forgot to share it out. I forgot to share it
yeah,
out. Hold on. Let me do that real quick. I was in such a hurry coming home, and then I had the messages I had to deal with when I got back. I was like, oh my gosh, okay. So, yeah, not stressful at all.
I'm hoping
I
your
just,
dad, hey, God's desire for me. Welcome in. So I hope your dad straightens out and
yeah,
needs you. We'll think positive.
yeah, hopefully.
So you
Um,
all know I haven't been doing a lot of my gardening videos because we kind of let the garden die uh, with my problems. And I
oh
jumped
yeah, you
into
had a good excuse.
pouring resin, and then I ended up with a huge jar of eyeballs. Y'all remember that, right? Well, the eyeballs are selling. In fact,
Oh, good.
the exercise leader at the cardiac rehab showed her pictures of what I've been making, and she wants me to bring my eyeball jewelry in because she wants to buy a couple of them. So they're selling well. Things that I thought were ugly and terrible are the first things to sell at these markets.
I told you people have bad taste.
So since we spoke
You,
last, I have been pouring. I try to pour every day all my molds, and this is a tree ornament. And some of them, like today, I waited too long to start my pour, so I had to rush the pouring, and I went over. When you go over the mold, you see these areas here? Those are supposed to be open. So I'm going to put
Oh,
it back in with a Dremel, and the hole is totally, to hang it from the tree is totally plugged, so I'm going to have to drill a hole right there. But I'm doing
someone will know.
a bunch of stars.
Oh, those are pretty. Yeah.
Yeah. And I figure I need to get $6 a star to make up materials.
Oh,
So I don't.
yeah. Well,
What do
usually
you
you
think?
take however much your materials are and you triple it. That's one of the
So what do you think about
craft
that?
show.
People will be willing to pay $6 an ornament?
I would say so.
Then this is hard to see.
You could always do like say $6 an ornament and then like, 5 for 22 or something,
You can't see this right now because I have to go back with a metallic acrylic pens, but it's got printing that's indented. So maybe that means I can put the end of the pen in and follow the indent and not mess
Oh,
up.
yeah.
So this says merry and bright. Meet me under the mistletoe.
Aw.
I made a soap dish my first time using stickers.
Oh, okay.
So this part is usually indented. And I put the
So,
stickers in, and then I poured clear resin over the top to hold them down.
okay, so you did another layer of resin. Okay, I was wondering how you did that. Yeah.
So, and this is your fault. I did a bunch in green. And while we're sitting
I
here
think that's
tonight,
gonna be cute.
I'm going to put a sticker on there. And your opinion, can you see the Christmas tree outlined inside that bell?
The glare is really bad. Kind of. Like I can get an idea of what it's going for, but it's really hard to make it out.
You
Can you
see
put
it
your
now?
hand behind it? The other hand?
Kind of
Yeah,
hard
I
to
can
see.
see. It's hard to see, but I can kind of get the idea. Yeah.
So I tried putting eye makeup on that, the glittery eye makeup, which is how I get tints in some of my pieces. And it didn't
Oh, okay.
come out. So now I've got these patterns that are pressed into the ornament, and I am wondering, do I dare just get a little teeny little bit of colored resin and put it in there, or do I color in the bottom with the acrylic pen? Which would you do? Because they're expensive to pour.
Oh,
You don't want to mess it up, right?
I don't know. I've done a little bit with acrylic. Again, at the library, we did a program last year. We did some keychains, but I don't really have a lot of experience with it.
That's got a hole in it for an
Oh,
earring.
yeah.
But they did
Oh, okay.
the mold didn't come with two of each shape, which confuses me. But I've got little angels. I've got little snowflakes.
Oh, I love that snowflake. That is so
Do you like
cute.
that?
And
I'm
you could sell those as mini ornaments as well, because some people will do a mini tree.
a mini tree. There's one.
Oh, that's cute too.
I already showed you a white one of these.
That's pretty.
This one I just unmolded right before we went live. And it's got this
Oh, it's
hole in it
shiny.
that's the shape of a star.
Mm-hmm.
I tried doing ink, and when resin dries, it shrinks in. So all this swirly ink was out at the sides when we started, and it just kind of shrank
Oh,
into it. Kind
weird.
of looks like a flame to me.
Yeah, it looks cool.
But this is the
Yeah, it's hard when things change from when you make it and then it changes like with the painting of the pottery, like it gets so much darker that it's hard to
right.
figure out your colors and
It
everything.
changes color
It's
totally with
pretty
the firing. Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
This to me looks like cat vomit. Like
I'm glad I
someone
can't see it very well then.
put a hairball in the middle of the ornament. So
Oh,
it did
that's
not look that way when I walked away from it. But so I'm doing these out the yin yang because I figure they'll be my best sellers. And I'd love to have, Suzanne says she's got a mini tree. And I'm going to ask the audience's response. You know, give me some feedback here. Got stickers that look like snowman, but you know, I'm not pouring anything that's big enough to accommodate those. But this is what our friend here suggested I put on those green ones. So should I put one together while we're talking?
I want to see it.
So that's what I've been doing.
And if it doesn't look good, you can peel it off, right?
I don't know. Let me try. So share with us while I do this. What are you planning your gardens yet for next year?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. Like I'm gonna be changing stuff up for sure. I'm kind of scratching the whole cut flower aspect of it. Just hasn't really been working out like I wanted it to. So I'm gonna go probably a bit more landscaping-ish on the hill. And I'm gonna be changing around where I do all my veg because all of the trees are just getting too big. And so the area that used to be full or part sun is now more part to full shade.
Oh no.
So the tomatoes that I did along my railing here, they just did not do that great. And the ones I did over at the neighbor's house, like did amazing because she has full sun over there. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna put all the tomatoes there and then stick with other things on my side. The cucumbers did fine here. Um, Zucchini did terrible up at the top of the hill. Everything at the top of the hill did terrible. I think it's just way too much shade. So the neighbors, the tomatoes didn't do so great on his side because I have two neighbors I've taken over part of their yard. So the guy right next door, the tomatoes didn't get as much sun as the other side, and but the peppers did really well there. So I think I'm gonna just stick with like peppers and maybe put some zucchini in those raised beds I have there. I'm gonna stick with pretty much the full-size tomatoes. I'm gonna just have all over at my other neighbor's house and hope nobody sells during the summer season. Um, and then like my neighbor, I have these really big pots in her yard that go up the hill. So I'm thinking of maybe doing some squash in them next year. Maybe some baby boo pumpkins and maybe some patty pans and stuff like that because there'd be a bit of room for it to kind of spread out along the fence.
Do you have
And
trouble
then
up there with vine borers or cucumber beetles?
I noticed a few this year, but I'd never really grown them cucumbers before. So I've grown cucamelons in the past. Last year I tried cucumbers and they did not do anything. They got hit by a frost early in the season and
Off they went, huh? All right, so
yeah,
that
so
was
this
an
year I did good.
experience. The smile
Oh, it's on. Yep.
separately from the eyes.
Oh, okay.
So while you were talking,
Well, that's good because you can make it fit it, whatever you need
yeah,
to.
but I think I need to do a lighter color. Can you see the Grinch face on that?
I can.
Do you think that
I
looks okay?
can. And you know what? I was wondering about the green clashing, but there's enough of that exact same shade of his eyes in it. I think it looks really good.
You think that looks good?
It's kind of subtle too. Like some people might not want you might want to lighten it a little bit, but I think it's good. I like it.
I've
My
already
daughter would
put
love it. She loves the Grinch.
20 of them this color.
Okay. I think it's good.
That's going to be too dark, the blue. So,
Yeah, and the Grinch is green, right? So
yeah.
now could you just do the snowman eyes on that? If you don't have room for the face, could you just do snowman eyes on the blue or no?
The give you an idea how big they are.
Oh, never mind. Yeah.
Yeah, that snowman's a little bit big.
Just the winking.
It would be a spooky or creepy creepy
Yeah,
ornament.
one-eyed.
Let's see. I'll have to give that a think.
You can put the year on it.
But I've got other. You remember I just showed you this with the stickers.
Oh yeah.
You know, some people change the decor with the the holiday season.
Now, if you add the stickers like you're doing now, are you going to put more resin on it, or they're just the stickers are it?
Well, right there, I put since it's a soap dish, and it'll be getting wet with the wet soap and everything. I put clear resin over the top of it, so it's totally sealed in as part of the piece.
Yeah, but the ornaments you won't need to, right? It'll
Right.
just be the sticker.
Yeah, but
So
I
then
don't
what
know.
you could do is you could offer, like you could say, but you could let them pick a sticker, right? Like
Good.
some people might not, they might like to pick their own sticker, and you could have a pile of stickers that they can pick to put on whatever ornament they want.
That's an idea because some of these are really cute.
Oh, that's cute.
Some I don't understand. I've got a bunch of Santa Clauses and gingerbread men, but then I've got they sent stickers that just don't make sense to me. I also have. I didn't bring them back. Yeah, that I did.
And yes, I do have great neighbors. I have two people that never, ever, ever, ever step a foot in their backyard, ever. And so we maintain it because the first few years, like they didn't even mow. Like it was like literally wild out there. Be like 3 foot high. And there's no fences between it. And Gizmo, our previous pug, loved it. He would just run all over. But we did get kind of worried about ticks and mice and whatever. And then a few years back, the neighbor, so not the guy in the middle, but the other neighbor on the other side, she decided she wanted to get her yard back in order. And so my husband volunteered to help her out with that. So he went and she paid for all the supplies, but he went and dumped, a ton of dirt and grass seed and fertilizer. And then we went to Costco and we got her a sprinkler and another hose. And then she's been paying my daughter ever since to mow the lawn on a regular basis. And then my husband goes in and fertilizes it now and then. And now she has like the best grass on the street. And it looks so nice. And so then she just lets me do whatever I want out in the back. If I have extra pots and containers, I put them there. And, I'll give her produce and stuff, but she just enjoys looking out and seeing it looking nice. And honestly, she works from home and she has 2 cats and she calls it Randy TV because my husband's out in the back a lot and Dexter, we running around. And the cats, she loves it when they're out back because instead of harassing her on the laptop while she's trying to work, they're just like glued to the window watching. So they love it when Dexter's out there. And it's funny because he'll see them and they'll run down to the sliding glass door and then he'll kind of be on the outside barking. And then the one, especially Daisy, she's really friendly. She'll be like scratching at the inside and he'll be scratching from the outside saying hi. So it's really cute. Like he knows they're in there. And it's funny because sometimes like if she's out of town or whatever, she'll hire my daughter to take care of her cats as well. And so then you'll like knock on the window from inside and Dexter will be outside be like, how did you get here?
So what's your trick of laying a sticker down without getting a crinkle in it?
You don't even want to know what I did to this sticker today. It stuck to my finger and I had to try and get the other thing out.
And now I notice it's not straight. Great.
You gotta go slow.
Anyway.
That's why you let them pick it themselves and they get to stick it on themselves.
That's an idea.
DIY. Ooh, DIY ornament kits. There you go.
Yeah. So let's get our viewers. What do you all think about how much would you pay for an ornament like that, hand poured resin? And they're not thin. They're pretty heavy ornaments. Kind of weird. You can't figure out how to hold it up to a camera. Use tweezers. I'd probably wrinkle it more. Tweezers are for steady hands. So what do y'all think? What would you pay for something like that? Yeah, I kind of like him. The picture of him, it looks better than in person. Whoa.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
We'll sell them online then.
Yeah, we're designing a website now. Right
Oh,
now, we're
cool.
trying to decide what platform to use. Um,
Squarespace?
my friend Barry, you've all heard me talk about Barry. He's with National Public Radio. If you listen to Morning Edition, that's his show. But he also makes hand puppets, and he worked with Jim Henson for a while, making
Cool.
that quality hand puppet. And he's made it for most presidents. He's got pictures with the presidents presenting them with their puppet.
Oh, wow.
He told
Ironic.
me, yeah. What is the name of the website he recommended? Wix,
Wix?
Wix.
Yeah.
Because
But did he recommend it for selling?
yeah, because he sells his
Okay.
puppets. If you're all interested, his puppet business is called Handemonium, as in hand demonium.
That's
And
cute. That's cute.
he does really good. He
Um,
did one of me, and I had a cat deface it with body fluid. And
oh,
it had a little sweater on, a turtleneck with a sweater over it. And I took them out and washed them and didn't pay attention that the sweater wasn't a cheap acrylic one. It was some sort of a wool
wool?
sweater. So
Oh,
he doesn't spare expenses when he
yeah.
makes these things. And it shrank up, so she's naked. But I'll go get her if
You
y'all
can
want
make
to.
her an outfit.
Hmm? She
You
says
need to make her a new outfit.
I do, but you're the one that sews.
Do you crochet?
Yes, just a little.
Yeah, you could make her a little crochet bikini.
Oh, that's an idea. Well, I just thought maybe pasties.
There you go. Well, you just use some of the stickers. The
That's an
eyeballs.
idea. Oh, that's funny. Hey there, Alfonso. I'm going to
Hey,
turn it off to
Alfonso.
Brampton Gardener just long enough to run to my closet and get little Lisa out.
Oh, no worries. Um, oh gosh, snow. Oh no. Well, I hope you guys are all right there and don't lose power or anything like that. I mean, you should be pretty prepared there for snow as it is. I mean, it's Colorado. But yeah, I don't envy you that. No, we have not had any snow here. And honestly, I've been looking at like the 2 week forecast and we're still I'm not even really seeing a frost yet. So I'm really cheesed off because um like halfway through October, um, we had a night and they said, oh, it's gonna go down to 30 degrees overnight. So I was like, so I went out and I harvested all my tomatoes, all my peppers, everything, even my loofah. And then we still have not had a frost. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'm a little annoyed by that. So but yeah, I don't know if you weren't here before, I was just saying how I had gone to a cricket class at the library, and I'm not, I'm learning how to use the cricket, but they had us making, these were some of the items, they had us making these cake toppers. So I went with a Christmas one. This is actually 4 layers. So you pick your font. I don't know if you've ever used the Cricut, but if not, you write what your words are on the screen, and then you pick your font, and then you go and you pick the outlines around it and however many you want. And so you click on, and I can't remember what it's called. There's a word for it. It's not outline, but that's what we're going to call it. And so you click, your outline. So your first one is here. It would be the silver one is the first outline. And so it follows the words fairly closely. And then you do another one for the next outline and the other one. And then it just gets progressively larger and less detailed. So you can see the back is, way less detailed than those ones. So that was fun. And then we did like a foam layer there to stick them all together. And then we did these garlands. And I stacked it all together. Oh my God, she's adorable.
I
Oh,
put a
that's
scarf over
funny.
these.
She's got a scarf. Well, there you go. She just put her in a sari. You're good. The scarf tops are all the rage over on Instagram.
Arms and When did he make her for me, Charlie? 1990.
Oh, wow. She looks sassy.
Well, that's the way I used to look.
Long time ago.
And he captured, I used to wear bright red lipstick. And so he had to put the lipstick on.
Oh, yeah.
And
so what is it, felt or?
It's a combination of foam. It's covered with some sort of fabric.
You lost an eyelash.
So this is like 30 years old. Yeah, well, she's had some rough times. Yeah, Barry, if you're watching this, I need an eyelash. He watches occasionally. He's trying to recover from covering the elections, which is like running a marathon.
That's stressful. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Can you put that back in the closet? Up on the shelf. I'm going to send her to the closet with Charlie.
Give me a second. I'm stuck.
But
I was getting a chuckle out watching the guys in their screens on election night.
Oh, it's
when they had the maps and they're like, okay, and then if this, and I'm like, they've just been practicing like for 4 years. These guys have probably been practicing in front of those screens. Like they were so excited.
Who was
on the election? Like all the with their maps,
the anchors
attaching this, and if it goes this way, and then if it goes this way, and then they're like tapping it, and they have all these programs and stuff. And
some of these people, some of the reporters really get off on politics. It was my least favorite thing to cover.
Yeah,
because when you're behind the scenes and you look at all the games people are playing,
oh, it's all dirty.
And then your corporate media bosses don't let you cover it the way it needs to be covered. Because I'm a big one for exposés. Like, y'all need to see this.
Yep. Yeah.
And they're like, no, we'll lose sponsors.
Yep. It's all about the almighty dollar.
It's all about the dollar. And I've noticed that journalism has gone more toward shock and
there's no journalism.
And I don't like speculation journalism. If it goes this way, it can do that, but don't predict it. Talk about the issues. Give us what's going on straight, and then let the chips fall.
Well, what I don't like is like something happens, and then it's like, you're flipping through the channels, and every single news reporter, everything, they all say the like exact same thing. It's like the word came down from like AP, and this is what you're allowed to say, and it's word for word the same thing, even the same like analogies and everything. Like it's and no one's like doing any kind of journalistic research. Like the Pelican brief would never happen today. They'd be like, oh no, you can't talk about that, you can't go there. No.
That's right. Well, I did investigative journalism for a little while, and after getting death threats and getting beaten up over it, I decided it's not worth it, because the public doesn't appreciate the story anyway, and what you have to do the research to find out the dirt, and then you're putting your life at risk.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
it's not worth it for the level of appreciation that people have for what you have to do. But Alfonso is when journalists like the Examiner nowadays, I can't watch it anymore. Yeah, what gets me, and I tend to comment when I watch the news on YouTube or these presentations, I'll say, just give it to us straight. Don't do the name calling and the so-and-so smeared this person or flamed that person. And it's all about who got a dig in on someone, not about the issue itself or making a point. It's watch this person be rude to this other person. And it's like the American public has gotten so we enjoy watching people be rude to each other. And I think that's behind a lot of the rudeness that we all have now, where we don't seem to mind telling people off. It's because of what the press is doing, the way we're covering things. So I'll get off my soapbox, and let's go back to crafts.
Yeah, crafts a saver.
But poor Barry. Barry is going to come on and join us as a guest, maybe in December, maybe after the first of the year. He says give him time to recuperate. So y'all watch my little teasers I do usually a few days before the live. And if I say Barry from NPR is coming on, he's always a barrel of laughs. I mean, this guy, he's one of the people that always sees the positive, and I'm the type of person who always sees the negative. So we play
Good
off.
pair.
Yeah, and we've known each other since we were like 12. So, so Alfonso is asking, where did you get the professional puppet from? From my friend Barry. And if you want to find his website, let me look up that URL for you.
I dropped the link.
Did you?
Yeah.
How
I don't
come
know if it'll show up though if I'm not a mod.
I'm not seeing it in the chat. Let me go over to the YouTube part of it.
I'll just type it. I think maybe if you have no links.
I can do it, right? As the site owner.
Yeah, I don't know if you see that one or not, but it's called Handemonium Puppets. Are you seeing that now in the chat or no?
I'm in Google. Oh, he's done one of, is that Jimmy Kimmel or I get Kimmel and the other guy mixed up. Oh, my friend Barry. Okay, so I'm dropping. Did that show up in chat?
Yep.
Okay, so Alfonso, if you want to click on that, and you can see pictures of his work. He's on my screen. The actual picture of Barry's in like the second row of people, and he hasn't really changed since high school.
Did you see that? I just wrote hello. Can you see that in the chat?
Link is good. Yeah, you said hello. Let me go over
Okay.
the chat and see.
Yeah, it didn't show either one of my other comments. And the other one I just wrote it out without like the .com and it still didn't load it. So I thought it was too much like a website.
Okay, Alfonso says got it.
I tried. Yeah.
Well, thank you. So you talk about a crafter. Look at his work.
That's amazing.
As I said, he
That's an
worked
artist.
with Jim Henson with the Muppets. They were friends, and he made a few Muppet puppets over the years.
Yeah. I'm looking at the website right now. It's amazing.
Are you? I'm going to go over and look at it. So which Kimmel is that? I'm gonna click on the look-alike puppets. Oh, he's got Donald Trump in there. If you click on look-alike,
Abe Lincoln.
Yeah.
No, that's not Kimmel. That's the other one.
The other one. Oh.
I can't think of his name either. Jimmy Fallon. There we go. I clicked on it.
There you go. Yeah, and I like him better than Kimmel. And if you go down to the one with Bill Clinton, that's the summer I was in D.C. as an intern at the Washington Report on Middle East Affairs magazine. And Barry dropped in on the magazine a couple of times because we're just a couple of streets over from the NPR studios. And he kept saying, come work for me. Come intern here. And I really couldn't do it because he's a friend. I'm like, we won't be friends once I work for you because I'm a handful. Yeah. But I'm scrolling through. He really does good work.
He does. But he's acting like we're supposed to know who all these people are. So.
I recognize the guy with the John Lennon eyeglasses as a rock and roller that's real popular. I can't remember his name. The one next to him is
I recognize Guy Fieri.
Al Gore. He did one Al Gore.
Oh, Pee Wee Herman. Oh yeah, these are funny. No, that's an incredible talent. I don't even want to know how much those go for.
Several thousand.
Oh gosh, yeah. They'd have to. That's got to take him forever.
And he sells.
Oh, I bet.
He says he's been designing and building and performing puppets since 1983. So he's
You're gonna
really
have to learn how to make puppets, Alfonso.
yeah. So that's my buddy, and occasionally I'll chat with him online and talk to him on the phone, and he always cheers me up.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, he's, as I say, he's always Mr. looking at the positive side, and I'm stuck in negativity. But he's kind of bummed out right now.
Yeah.
Because one
Well,
thing,
just think of all the material.
well, Trump has promised to defund public broadcasting, so he
Oh, right.
thinks he's out of a job. So I hope
Hello,
that's
Gizmo 1200.
so. But he's an amazing person. Oh, Gizmo. Suzanne's probably on that. You got it, Suzanne? Charlie, are you on that?
Not, it's deleted. Suzanne got it.
She got it? Okay. Gizmo's been showing up every week with the same offer.
Oh, it's the same. Did you block them?
I think Suzanne blocks them every time, and he just makes a
You
new
should be
one.
able to block him on the main on your main, unless he changes and gets a new thing every time. But
And he'll
you
come
should be
back.
able to go in and
He'll come back under a
block
couple of
on your YouTube. Yeah.
So I don't know who he is, but I was told I have made it as a YouTuber when I have a heckler.
When you get a heckler, yeah.
This one's
Well,
just
my old pug Gizmo's rolling in his grave right now. He
I
just makes new
hate that.
channels. That's why I usually put it on subscriber mode, even if it's just for 1 minute. A lot of times it keeps down on the bots and stuff coming in, but
So Alfonso
it's a nice
says he has
looking.
a small 12-inch chicken puppet. He paid $25 for it. He's looking for a rooster, but they're 60 to 70, and I think Barry's would be a lot more than that. But he, as you see, he does celebrities and he does lookalikes
Oh
for
yeah,
performers, and
he's big time.
so when he's on live, y'all come in and ask him how long does it take him and whatever you're curious about.
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And then please ask away on what it's like to be in journalism today and how has it changed. That'll get him going. Either get him going or he'll go. He's
don't wanna
still
depress
active
the
in
guy.
the field, so he may not be able to talk about his
Stay tuned.
frustrations because you're still
Yeah.
out there working and you're not supposed to have an opinion. And that's one good thing about not, yeah, you laugh all you
You're
want.
not supposed to have an opinion.
Not
Really.
supposed to show your bias.
Tell me the last time you watched a news reporter and they gave it without, like, it was an opinion piece. Come on. No one just presents the facts and lets you make up your decisions. It's all
Walter
tainted.
Cronkite. Peter,
It's
what
all
was his
tainted with
name?
whatever they're trying to
Peter
push.
Jennings. They're pretty straight shooters. And that's about when corporate interests started coming into it. I remember Pete Jennings when Disney bought his channel.
Oh.
And he was almost crying on air. I mean, if you knew him, you could tell he was really struggling with it.
Yeah. Well, now, it's like, oh, I mean, even like the politicians and such only have so much pull, but the advertisers,
It's the dollar.
that's who makes policy,
Yeah.
honestly.
But of course, I wasn't on camera. I was a writer, and I
Big
did.
money is, yeah.
On camera is where your money is. But the actual people out in the trenches doing the work are paid dirt wages. Oh, and journalism today isn't what I did.
No.
No, I lived
Now
by.
you're just repeating what you've been told.
Yeah, well, you're supposed to directly quote some people, not morph it or whatever, or cater to what you know their bias is. You're supposed to confront people and
Yeah.
their
And
position.
ask the hard questions.
Yeah, and
Ask.
that's our job, and to not react to it, even though inside you want
Yeah.
to punch them. Um, uh, one of the hardest interviews I did was at a maximum security juvenile prison. Hardcore young teen people who have done murder and other things.
Awful.
It was really hard to have a neutral face.
Oh, my face would be
Like,
what? Yeah. No, it's
mm.
disturbing when yeah. No, I don't even like true crime stuff.
Oh, I love true crime. I watch it all day. I watch court
I
proceedings.
don't want to know that it actually happened. I love mysteries and thrillers and I'll read them, but I don't want to know that it actually happened.
And see, I like things that are true stories. And now one of my favorite all-time shows is Criminal Minds.
Yeah,
And
that's
I've watched the series over and over and over.
I need to be able to sleep at night.
Well,
I used to be more into that. The older I get, the less no, it just stays with me and it just turns my stomach and I just can't shake it
Charlie
sometimes
would
when
agree
it's
with you.
night.
And I said, hey, I dealt with this in real life, and it's kind of
Yeah.
intrigues me. That, and like with Criminal Minds, some of the stories I recognize from press releases or recognize when it happened, and I'm like, oh, I remember this.
I just can't believe how messed up some people are. It's
Yeah, it
disturbing.
definitely gives you a jaded look at life. But so what do we do when we're feeling down? We pour resin and we wrap
So,
jewelry and crochet and garden.
yes, definitely. We craft. Sewing, like when I was going through some really tough emotional things, years ago, sewing was the one thing that could stop me from crying. Like I took up jogging. I thought, oh, this will be a good thing, right? I'll get some exercise. You can still cry when you're running, if you wondered. You can. But sewing was just difficult enough, had just enough, and I was constantly trying new things. So I'm not one that like makes a lot of the same pattern. Um, I'll make a pattern like once or twice and I'm on to the next. I'm trying to learn a new skill. I like to challenge myself and try new things all the time. So like this was a really basic, simple one that I did the other day, but I still really enjoyed it. And I did a different technique on the binding. That if I do the video with Monica, she wants to make a mug rug. I'm gonna have her do this kind of my binding. It's like a fake binding, but I ran
So
through it,
how big is
whatever,
a
and
mug
it was
rug?
just kind of nice.
How big is a mug rug?
It's about like a 9 by 6 or like this. It's supposed to be big enough to have a cup and a snack. So think of it as like a large coaster. So it's like on your desk enough. You want to have enough room for your, cup of tea or coffee, and then you can have a little snack next to it. So they can be any size that you want them to be. They started out in the quilting world as kind of like a sampler. So let's say you're going to do like a big quilt design and maybe it's a new technique or you want to see how the colors come out or it's a new pattern. So you would just do one square to see how you liked it, right? And then they decided to just start making that into like, and the one square wouldn't be big enough for like a placemat. But let's say you want to try a new technique and say, is this going to work? Is this going to look good on, an entire quilt, which is extremely time consuming and a lot of work and a lot of material. So they would just do like a little practice one. And then they became very popular in the quilting community. People would do swaps. So it's something it's a quick, you can go as detailed as you want. Some of them are incredibly intricate. I've made all the different kinds. I've made very simple ones. I've made some with like embroidery on them. I've done some with like what's called like line art, or there's another, it's basically you just kind of go in and use the thread as like to draw with. like with some free motion quilting, and I would outline the thing there, and there's all different kinds of techniques that you can use. So especially if you're really just learning, wanting to start out, super simple, super cheap to make. You just need, the front fabric, back fabric, and a bit of batting in the middle. You can get stuff at, Dollar Tree has some supplies that you can get, or especially if you're starting out, I recommend thrift stores because you can go in and buy a curtain for like $6 and you can make a ton of mug rugs and tablecloths and placemats or table runners, things like that.
So what kind of batting are you
Um,
using?
Whatever I have on hand.
So you're
I have
using
not
the
particular.
thin stuff,
It's
or
just a thin batting. If you want to make it like when I make like a table topper, I will use it's called Thinsulate. And so it's an insulated batting and it has a layer of like the aluminum in it. And then you can use it and put like hot, your casserole dish and things like that right on the table. Like I do that when I make like a table runner. But this is just it's like a coaster, really, right? So you can make a stack of these if you wanted to make them smaller. You can make fabric coasters. You can do someone's like a name, a letter, monogram them. You can do whatever you want. But it's really fun to and then like this size here, I can just fold it in half and I can throw it in a number 10 envelope and put a stamp on it and mail it, right? So it just became something that was just really fun. It was quick, it was easy, it was cheap to mail, and just became like all the rage. And I'm talking back maybe when did I really get into sewing? And they were already really popular. Um, Probably around 2011 is when I really got into it. My daughter was a couple years old. And that's when sewing really kicked off for me. And so that's kind of when the mug rugs became really, really popular in the online sewing communities. So it was fun. And I've done some mug rug swaps. I finally had to actually throw one out that I've had for years. One of the first swaps I ever did. And I did one a few years back. It was a paper piece quilting pattern. So paper piecing is very intricate and you can get some really cool designs with it. And for that one it was a border collie. So the lady was obsessed with her border collie. It was kind of like a Secret Santa kind of thing. So I went on her Facebook page and she had all these pictures of her dog. So I went in and I made a border collie mug rug and it turned out really, really cute. I really liked it. And I've done a lot of zipper pouch or bag swaps, things like that. But I haven't been doing as much of them anymore because it's like, well, I don't really need a random bag getting sent to me that I already have so many.
if,
But it
if
is
I
fun.
carry
And so I
a bag,
did.
I'd ask you to make me one, but I don't carry a purse. I put a wallet in my back pocket like a guy, and off I go. I got robbed at gunpoint a couple of times. They got my purse, and I had my world in the purse.
Yeah, and
Uh,
you're like, nope.
Not anymore. They got my contact book at the last one that had
Ooh.
sources all the way up to the White House, and I didn't have a backup for that, so I lost all those phone numbers. So whoever took the bag, I
Oh, yeah.
threw it away, but it had some inside phone numbers to people that people just
Yeah.
can't get. I made this the other day as a ring,
Oh, that's pretty.
but it's a new technique on the band. You see, it's a wrapped band.
Okay, yeah.
And when you were
How
talking
do you
about
pick sizing?
um,
Is it
this one is,
adjustable or?
no, this one's pretty fixed. And I try usually to make things size 7.
Okay.
And with the wrapping, it shrinks, it takes up more space. This one I did a little bit better. I did it out of copper. Can you see the wrap? The
Yeah,
wrap?
that looks really nice.
Here's looking at you, babe.
Although copper turns me green.
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to. That's your body reacting to it. It's supposed to be good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you look
So
like you have gangrene fingers.
yeah, earrings get your neck going green. And I can't remember whether I showed everyone this bracelet that I just learned how to do.
Can you hear him snoring?
Let's see. It's got 3 strands
Oh, that's pretty.
of Swarovski, how do you say it? Crystals?
Swarovski.
There you go.
Like you swore off skiing. Swarovski.
Oh,
That's really pretty.
I call it, it's called a herringbone wrap,
Okay, yep.
but I think it looks like a peacock feather.
That's really pretty. I like that. Yeah.
So
I have some copper wire I bought fairly thick that you're supposed to like hammer and make stuff for jewelry. But
you see behind me
I haven't
that
done it yet.
over the shoulder, that's a whole basket full of different wire gauges and
Oh, I
shapes.
see it. Yep.
Yeah, I
Yep.
get carried away. And then I just started doing crystals.
Oh, yeah.
And this is, to me, it looks like chicken wire. And this is, you would hang from an necklace thing. See how it's,
Oh, yeah. A pennant.
yeah. I kind of like that top.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
It's nice and wide. I have a really pretty pennant I bought, and it's so narrow. I can't get it on any chain. And I'm like, why would they put such a small dilly-mabob at the top of this
Is
charm?
it handmade? Did someone hand make it, or is it commercially made?
I don't know. I bought it at a craft show, but I don't know. I could probably change it out. I hadn't thought of that. I could probably just put a different one on.
That's a
Is
bracelet.
that jade or malachite?
That is Swarovski.
Oh, no, it's back to the Swarovski. Right.
Yeah, I got a whole shipment of them in different colors and sizes. And I thought that was a neat idea. That took a lot of work. And then I sprung the clasp.
Oh, I like that style hook. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm new to this. I've only been doing it a few months. So I got to cut myself some slack, but still, someone will buy that.
No, it's fascinating. Yeah,
Suzanne spelled it out for us. Swarovski.
Swarovski.
This is why
Yeah,
I
like
wasn't a broadcast journalist. I can't talk. Swarovski crystals. Yeah. More show and tell, more show and tell. Anyone in the chat want to show us some crafts? And I can put the link out if you want to come up and join us.
I actually bought some of these. Fortunately, they were on clearance at Michael's, but these are the lava rocks, the lava stones.
I just got a shipment of those in.
Oh, cool. So yeah, you can put these on with the bracelets and stuff, and then you can put a few drops of essential oils, and the lava stone holds the essential oil.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I have all sorts of essential oils.
So
this is a tangled mess. Let's see. So with my lava rock, what I want to do, because you know me, I'm into rescuing animals that people don't necessarily understand, and possums and snakes and whatever. So I'm kind of into the weird stuff. And I really got into making the spiders. You see the spider?
Oh, that's gorgeous.
So I recently, and that's big, you know, as a brooch. Okay.
Oh yeah, that should be big for Halloween.
The
Halloween girlies.
People bought my spiders. Here's another crystal. And this last show,
do them as a Christmas ornament.
Maybe. This last show I was at, there was a lady there that was into crystals and their magic and their healing and whatever. And she says you should be wrapping it in copper because copper releases whatever healing energy the crystal has. So I came home and did a few in copper because I've been using brass. But back to my spider.
Oh, yeah.
I decided I got a pattern for little earrings for, little small spiders.
Right.
And so I ordered some of that lava rock in like 2 millimeter beads, 2, 4, and 6 millimeter. And I'm going to do
Yep.
some black widows
I'm gonna fall over.
and put a little, don't fall off your chair while I'm watching.
Fortunately, I'm on the floor, but I'm on a bolster.
Oh, okay. Are you
I was gonna
okay?
show you my amethyst point.
I love amethyst. That is gorgeous.
And I actually have some big pieces of fluorite a friend gave me years ago as well. Fluorite was always my favorite because it's the purple and the teal all together.
Yeah,
But it's a nice
it's really pretty.
purple. Now I can't quit it.
So anyway, so I'm going to put little red dots on the abdomen, I guess you call it. If I do the black light,
Oh, great.
make little spider earrings and put the little red dot.
Interesting. Yeah. Actually, I should show you what I'm sitting on. It's very heavy though. It's very heavy. This is my Zafu pillow.
Oh, that's nice. Did you make it?
So I did make it. So
Wow.
the leather is from my old couch, and the fabric is from a panel, curtain panel I bought at the thrift store years ago. And then it's full, it's got like I think it's got like a small comforter in there. And then I put a bunch of like feed corn,
Seed corn.
because feed corn, like that
Mhm.
you would like mill to make stuff, not like popcorn, but the big corn. Um, because when you're, if you're sitting on a pillow and you're trying to, do yoga or meditation or anything like that, it's got to be stable. You you don't want to be tipping. And then, so I made that, and then my friend was talking about restorative yoga or yin yoga, and they use a lot of props in that. So then I made myself a nice bolster because they were it's unzipping. They're very expensive. This one has like a comforter and 2 pillows in it because it needs to be very firm. Otherwise, you get yourself in a very interesting predicament.
Yeah, I can
So
imagine.
this one it's a fake suede, and then I still had more of the leather and that, so it's got some straps on there. But it's a nice, decent body pillow size.
So you're into yoga. Tell us about yoga. My doctors keep telling me to start yoga. One person
Life
suggested
changing.
goat yoga, but the one time the goat jumps on me and I'll be flat on my back.
Okay, goat yoga. No, no. And then like puppy yoga. Like I've done yoga with dogs, and when Dexter was a puppy, it was absolutely terrifying.
Why?
Well, you bend over and he's literally attacking your head. And sometimes you're in like a position and you're like balancing on your hands and your arms, and he's like trying to chew your hair or bite your face. And like, yeah, there was a lot of screaming. So it's not relaxed. This is I got to get my Zafu pillow back. It's very comfortable.
Okay.
So you can sit crisscross. So if you're trying to like sit and do any kind of, sitting upright and meditation and stuff, and you have trouble sitting, um, it helps with your posture and everything too. But you can sit crisscross with it, and it's very comfortable. Although it's kind of lumpy right now because the corn's all in the wrong spot.
Wiggle your butt. Yeah. My issue would be standing back up right now. So
I gotta settle it in. Um, well, here's the thing. So I've always been very flexible growing up, but I was always like double jointed. And all through grade school, I would sprain my ankles repeatedly. I can't even count how many times I sprained my ankles. And the last major one I did was when I was 14, and my ankle swelled up so bad, and I honestly I probably fractured something. Um, they didn't really show anything on the X-ray, but it was so swollen, and the swelling never really went down. Like I still have like a lot of scar tissue, and both of my ankles just have always, even before, like I have edema now, and honestly, that's probably what's caused some of the edema is the scar tissue that's in there. But I was just always very weak ankles and very and just rolling them, you know. And I work with my husband. We do construction, and it was always one of those things that was just kind of, you step off the curb wrong and roll it, and then it's like, I can't walk on it for a couple of days. And it was just kind of story of my life. I was like, oh, roll my ankle again. And so then years ago, I always had really low blood pressure. Then when I got pregnant, my blood pressure became normal. And so then I had normal blood pressure for a while. And then I went through some really stressful situations with my parents' health about 8 or 9 years ago. And my blood pressure started to creep up. It wasn't high, but it was like in the upper 130s. And I was seeing this trend going up. And so I was like, okay, I gotta do something about this. And so I decided to try yoga. And I struggled. I wanted to like it. Like I had done a few, like I had an old DVD from, that I had done probably in the early 2000s years ago. And I do that every once in a while. And I'd check out video DVDs from the libraries. And, you know, some of the people are annoying, honestly. Some of them I didn't really vibe with. Um, and then I discovered Yoga with Adrienne on YouTube. A friend posted a link to her channel, and there was something about her. She really resonated, and I started doing some of her videos, and I was like, oh wow, I really like this. And then and that was around, I think, like November or December. I'd done a handful of her videos, and then in January every year, this will be I'm so sad because this is the first year in like 10 years she won't be doing it because she got married last year and she's kind of doing her channel a little differently. But every January she would do 30 days of yoga, and it would be a brand new video every day. There's a community group for it, and there was just something special about doing a new video, and everyone around the world is, doing these videos at the same time, and you're commenting together, and it was a real community vibe that you got from everything. And I just started doing it very regularly. And so for quite a few years I was doing yoga, and only at home. I mean, I did a few classes, but honestly I was doing it, I would say 4 to 5 days a week. And I noticed, especially like immediately, I noticed a change with my feet and ankles, and the stability and the loosening, because they were so stiff. And in some of the poses, like warrior one, warrior two, and then the way you're moving and whatever. And knock on wood, I have not twisted or sprained my ankle in the last 9 years, which is like mind blowing.
I really need to get off my butt and start doing yoga. I used to, when I was riding and training horses professionally, um, I could sit on the floor and put my forehead on the floor with my
Yeah.
knees, no problem. If I wanted to roll forward on my hands and lift everything behind me off the floor, I could do that. I was that strong. Now, if I get
Yeah.
on the floor, I can't get back. I roll around like a grub. I scoot on my butt.
Well, and another thing, something your husband will like when he gets cleared for it. Another thing is I've always had fear of heights, right? I do not like heights. And sometimes at work, I'm stuck on the top of a ladder. And I remember we
What
had
do you?
done this job. We were out, and if I'm near a wall, which is what we're normally working on at the walls, right? Because we're doing drywall taping. Um, but this one job we were doing, it was a skylight in the middle of a room in a doctor's office, and I'm on a top of a 12-foot ladder, and I would have to climb up to the top, and I would literally have to stand on that top step. And so that motion of like kind of climbing up, and then you're kind of bent over to hold on to it, and then so you're standing up from a fold. And I would get so dizzy. Like I would get so dizzy going from, standing up like that. And I started doing yoga regularly, and we went back, I think it was about a year later, and we had to do another repair in the same spot. I was fine. My balance, my coordination, my blood flow going up and down, like it was completely different. Like I was just really, um, you're in more control of your body. So I think a lot of people say, oh, it's just stretching or whatever. Well, no. There is the stretching component to it, but you're stretching the muscles. There's muscles, there's tendons, there's the fascia, and fascia is really getting popular right now. Everyone's talking about fascia. Fascia used to be ignored. No one talked about fascia. Now it's all about the fascia, because the fascia is like a giant, think of it like cheesecloth or webbing, that kind of holds everything together. And so if you're tight in your fascia, it can throw off things in other areas. And so a lot of times people will do something where they're like, do a stretch or whatever, and they're like really tight, and then they'll stretch a bit, and then it releases, and it's like, oh wow, my muscle is really tight. And it's like it wasn't actually your muscle, because you can't actually release a muscle that quickly. It was the fascia. And so fascia can be released very quickly if you know how to do it. And so
Well, I
you're
first.
building the muscle and the strength in all of it, but you're also building your body's connection to how to move it. Right. So some of the things like some of the toe exercises, you're standing there and it's like lift your big toe up and down, pick your middle toe up and down. And sometimes there's some like the first day you try to do something like there's no way I can do this. Like I'm not coordinated enough. Your body just like cannot figure out how to do even some of the balance poses. You're like, I'll never be able to do this. But then you go back to it in a day or two, and all of a sudden it's like your brain has made that connection. And so I think that's one thing that in the like when you do her 30 days of yoga program, and they're all still up on YouTube if anyone wants to do it, you can start on whatever. But she builds progressively on
What's the
it
name?
throughout the month. Yoga with Adrienne. You'll find it easily because she has 12.9 million subscribers.
Wow, Adrienne Mishler.
Yep. She's also an actress. She does some performing and she's been on Law and Order and a few things like that. She does performance and whatever.
I
She
used
does
to
live
get
classes and
I used to get heel spurs that
yeah.
when I was doing the reporting, I was on my feet all day running around, and I did wear sensible shoes, but still, being overweight, I've been overweight most of my life, put a lot of strain on my fascia in my feet,
Yeah.
right? So we discovered early on doing flexing the toes back and stretching that fascia and rolling
Oh
my
yeah.
feet. I'm at my desk rolling it on tennis balls. Hurt like the dickens, and then Charlie at night would squeeze the heels where the spurs were, and actually he could feel them crinkling, and it's the only way
Yeah.
to get through it. So the stretching, and I don't know what it is, whether am I afraid of it or I just don't want to commit to a routine. I live with chaos and I kind of embrace chaos, and the yoga
Well,
is
that's me too. I am the opposite of like OCD. I am not organized. I am haphazard. I am random. But and I think that that's one thing with like and I'm not one to like go to the gym. I'm very self-motivated. If I decide, okay, this is what I'm going to do. So like with the yoga with Adrienne, like the January things, I loved it. All December, I was looking forward. And sometimes I wouldn't do yoga for a couple of weeks just to save it up. And then I would go and I would print, like she will have like the little chart for the month and it will show you like the name of each exercise. Each video has a title and how long each one of the videos is. And I would print out that little chart and I would have my little book of stickers and I would set it on the wall next to where my yoga mat and I have my whole little station set up. So the tree comes down every year on January 1st. That's just kind of always been our tradition. And one of the reasons I kept doing it is because I always would do yoga with Adrienne. And the January 1st, she does like a 3-minute intro video. And then January 2nd is when the actual day one. And so it's like that tree's got to come down because I don't have a lot of room. I'm in a townhouse, right? So it's like that's where my yoga station is. So once the Christmas tree's gone, my Zafu, my bolster, my yoga blocks, my mat, it all goes in that little corner. And then I have my little calendar set up and my stickers, and it's just like it's go time. And I love to see the progression because of the way, like otherwise you're kind of just doing random videos here and there, whatever you feel like that day or whatever. It's like, oh, yoga for knees, she has like yoga for gardeners, yoga for this, yoga for that. She's got all kinds of stuff out there.
I'll have to check
But with
her
this
out.
one, it's like she will kind of like on day 3 or 4, she'll have like a new pose or a new move and you haven't tried it before and you're like, oh, I cannot do this. And then she'll build on that skill and you'll come back to it in a couple more days and you'll come back to it in a couple more days. And then by day 10, you try it again. By the end of the 30 days, all of a sudden you see this progress that you've made in some of these different poses, how much longer you're able to hold a plank, how much longer you're able to do this, how much deeper you can go into this pose. And just seeing how quickly your body responds to that progression is just it's extremely encouraging.
So you're
So
inspiring me.
I would definitely, if you just try that, and you don't have to do it like every single day, but if you do go with like one of her 30-day programs, do them in order because they do build on each other skill
Does she
wise.
charge for these videos? Do you pay
Nope,
for them?
nope.
Are
It's
they
all
still
she has a
available?
huge. They should be in her playlist. She should have all of her 30 days of yoga in a playlist. Like she does have a like a Patreon and a pay program as well where you get, in depth and even more videos and stuff. But under her playlists, I'm just looking at it right now. She has created playlists, flow. Yeah, she'll have all the different ones. And then she also will do a monthly playlist. And then each month there's like and she'll just pick random videos from her past because she's been doing this for like 12 years and whatever, right? She's got, I mean, how many videos does she have on here? Because she used to do a new video every Sunday was a new video. She has 751 videos on here. So that should keep you going. But she has like
I'll
yoga
see
for
you again.
beginners.
I'll have someone come look for me on my yoga mat. I do have a yoga mat. That's how far I got.
Hey. And then, she'll have some like if your wrists, she'll have like, hands-free yoga things, like if you have sore wrists and stuff like that. She also has a foundation series like to show you kind of how the actual poses. Highly recommend it because sometimes my wrists would get sore and she has one on wrists and hands and how you really should be um the mindfulness and the actual true positioning in like down dog and all these things. Don't just, jump into a pose. She really takes you through like building the position of the poses
So
and
start
stuff.
from the beginning and don't be impatient with yourself, is what you're saying. Just keep at it.
Don't be impatient with yourself. And if you can't do what you can. And that's what she says too. She's like, even if you just come and you do like, the breathing part of it and you just sit and watch it and that's all you do, then do that. It's better than, even if you can't do the full video the whole time. Um, and she'll show you kind of modifications or if it's kind of when she goes into the newer, um, see, I'm trying to see down here. She has, I think, shift. No, those are just different playlists. So it should be somewhere in there, her previous, if you Google it. I think her first one is the only one I haven't done, and that was 30 days of yoga. Because I started the year after she started doing that one, and they all had different names. I think Breathe, if I remember her series called Breathe, was probably kind of her lowest intensity, and it was kind of more focused on slowing down, breathing. Um, if you are into if you really want to do more like of a restorative type, relaxing yoga, then you want to look into like yin yoga. And so in yin yoga, you will go into certain poses and you will literally, and that's when you're going to want like a bolster, some pillows, things to prop yourself up on. And you're going to kind of just like, whenever you get into the pose and you're going to hold that pose for a good 3 to 5 minutes. And your body will just, after, about 3 minutes, all of a sudden you'll just feel like relax. And then you lay there for a bit longer into the pose. And because like I was saying before, it takes a while. There's different layers of things that start to relax and like the muscles and that true relaxation takes a lot longer than you would think. And you'll know, like when you go into the poses and you hold it for say upwards of 3 minutes or so, you'll know all of a sudden you'll just feel this release and you'll be like, oh, okay. And now you can move on to the next one. So I do um yin yoga or stretching every night when I get in bed. And I started doing that years ago. Growing up as a kid, I had a bad bike accident when I was in grade school, and I have damage to a couple of my vertebrae. I should have been 2 inches taller, apparently, which I do try to use on my BMI, and they won't fall for it. uh, my body doesn't know I'm not 5'9", okay? um, but yeah, I always would have pain. I had to see a chiropractor regularly when I was a kid and then throughout my, teen years. And I grew up, I just had chronic low back pain. And, even working, whatever, I get up in the morning, I had so much low back pain. And then after I got married, it was before I had Sydney for a couple of years, I ended up having really bad restless leg syndrome.
I
And
have.
every night I would go to bed and my legs would just come alive. And the only thing that would make it better was doing some stretches and not just low back because that's where it was feeling it, but also the neck because right here at the base of your cranium, it actually connects to, well, everything's connected, but it's really connected with your sacrum, your lower back. So I would sit and do a good 15, 20 minutes of exercise of these really deep stretches every night. And it was the only way I could sleep. And sometimes I would wake up in the middle of the night with my feet going alive again, and I would have to do the stretches again. And so I just got in the habit of just doing it every night when I would go to bed. And then I remember waking up one morning and all of a sudden I was like, my back doesn't hurt. How long has my back not hurt? Because my back had hurt since I was a kid, and I just one of those pains that you just, you're just so used to it.
Yeah.
And so then the next morning I woke up and I have not had chronic back pain since. And that was before Sydney. But I still had the restless leg problem. And then when I got pregnant with her, which was in 2008, I guess my joints shifted just enough in pregnancy and the restless leg syndrome went away.
Well, I've had
And so
that.
now,
Charlie, it makes him crazy because I'm always moving my legs. Well, Alfonso's in the basement, and I think maybe
yeah.
how do you feel about giving him?
Bring him up. I want to see his trains.
Yeah, he last time he came up. He does some really neat work with the trains. You ready, Alfonso? I don't see you. Where are you? There you are. Okay.
Actually,
Hey,
I
how
thought
are
of you
you?
today, Alfonso.
Oh, you're on camera.
Look what I got here. I put
Cool.
this together. We go for my G-scale model train. So somebody like this is 1 to 20 of scale figures and giant sized pumpkins.
Oh yeah, those are
What is all
so
that
cool.
made out of?
It's all this foam, and this just came from my corn stalk that I had in my
Oh
garden.
wow, thrilled! You just tried it.
Yeah.
Smart.
And these are huge corns. They're like about 10 feet long.
Oh wow.
Imagine having a big corn like this size.
You
So
need a
some
lot of butter.
Well, some who are blind could really see it.
That's quite creative. How long did that take you?
I made it last year, and I added more this year. I added the corn, the
Corn stalks?
yeah.
Yeah. And he's really into trains. Can you see behind him all the tracks?
Yeah, let me
yeah.
point the camera.
Oh, fun.
My G scale.
That is so cool. So how much time do you spend with your trains?
I do a lot of filming with it. I usually try to run it 1 hour, at least an hour a day. See, there it goes.
You ran the dog off. You see her leaving?
Like, oh, not this again.
It's not getting the signal very well.
Sassy. I think maybe she needs to go out then.
I don't know what's wrong, but okay, there it goes. Sometimes I struggle getting the signal because it's wireless.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look, the lights on them.
Actually, it's just DLT reflector tape that I put on it.
Oh,
That I put inside to make it look like it's light up when.
Yeah, it works. I thought it was all lit up.
Yeah,
It used to be lit up, but I had problems with the track. Instead of getting power from the rails, what's happening is like, because I'm using like rechargeable battery now, because I don't have very stable track power because the layout's so large and the signal won't reach all the way around.
Oh.
So it's like 5 feet wide by 15 feet long.
Oh,
Oval.
wow.
So the
that's
signal,
awesome.
yeah, the electrical signal will not go all the way. Like my power pack doesn't have to put out that much power to send a long signal that way.
You can't use like a repeater or something, or?
Well, because it's 16-volt current down the rails. And what happened, the power pack that I have is from an old HO scale train set, and it's not very powerful enough to output that much of a signal out. So running off rechargeable batteries, so what it does, instead of getting power from the rails, you're feeding power back to the rails.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. I used to be into the trains very briefly. But now I dig into dirt. I jewelry. Those are my things now.
You can
And,
make some
them-
train earrings.
Make some train earrings.
and look, I just got these today. They're both for $2.
Oh,
Cheesecake.
wow.
And they're normally
great
about $100 each. These cars
Oh, wow.
Where are you finding these bargains?
at the thrift store
Oh,
Awesome.
because that's how I get the track sometimes.
Where are you at?
AR in Colorado.
You're in Colorado. Right. You were in Colorado. Yeah, an old friend of my parents has a thrift/train store in California,
Oh, they do.
and he's always posting stuff that he has. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I hear road trip coming.
I don't know if he sells anything online or not, but yeah,
So,
thrift
so
stores.
I was lucky to find these, man. Like these are expensive. Normally,
That's amazing.
these
And
are
you could make it
Bachman.
almost like a. You could make like a temporary, like maybe even just put like some Velcro on there, and then you could make things that go on it, and you could swap them out.
Yes, that's what I'm planning on doing. Like, I'm finding a way how to like secure my put my John Deere tractors on these cars.
Mm.
And find a way how to secure the load. Because I got these slots where you could put like the ratchet or the tie down.
Oh yeah, you could use zip ties, reusable zip ties.
Yeah. I don't know if they have reusable zip tie. I thought zip ties are only one time use, right?
You can buy reusable ones now, and they're a bit heavier and thicker, and they work great. I use them in the garden a lot.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I could see myself getting lost in constructing those tracks, and
Yeah,
because you think it would be kind of suck you into it, and you go in and design.
Oh, sure. Oh yeah, my husband's uncle is really into it. He has a whole setup in his basement, and he was part of a club, and he spent all kinds of time. Every time you're over there, he's talking about what he's soldering, all these little parts and stuff that he's
Oh
ordering.
yeah, because you know what? In the smaller scale, the signal, especially on a large layout, you gotta have a feeder wires across so many feet because the signal won't reach very far.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating. There's so much to learn about it too, right? Like there's just so much they can do.
You know what? They're meant to run and operate like the real thing. They're meant to run and operate like if there's a real train.
Oh,
They're
yeah?
meant to run and operate that way.
That's just what a neat hobby, Alfonso.
You know, a lot of nowadays young people are not really into that stuff anymore. They're more into like electronics, tablets, video games. You know.
Alfonso, where are you
No one
from
goes to train
originally?
anymore.
What?
Where are you from originally?
New Mexico, Las Cruces, New Mexico.
I think everyone who has known me for a while know that I have a pepper fetish, and every year I concentrate on another part of the world that's featuring peppers from that part of the world. This
New
year,
Mexico, yeah, chili peppers.
this year is Mexico, so
Yeah.
I am making a list right now on the different peppers used in Mexican cuisine.
Yeah.
And then my next thing is to find the seeds, and then I start cooking. You know, when the peppers start coming in, I'll try the food from that cuisine. So right now I've got 17 varieties of peppers.
Yeah.
And
You know what they have the most down in Hatch, New Mexico.
yeah, the hatch peppers.
Yes.
You know, yeah, there's like 3 or 4
Yeah.
types of peppers that begin with
I've
hatch.
grown New Mexico 6 and the Big Jim for the last several years. I love them. They make an amazing chili, pork green chili. Oh, so good.
You know what I like is the mole sauces. So they take
I'm not huge
hours.
on mole. I'd have to try it again. I've had it before, and I've just never been something about it. I was never that sold on for some reason.
Whenever I taste it, I want like a bowl of it. So you can keep the stuff it's supposed to
Yeah.
go on. Give me a bowl of it. So I'll be experimenting this coming year with different types of mole, using the different peppers. And I like to learn. I like to learn about people, their cuisines, because you learn the traditions and the richness of the different cultures within the country. And half the fun is doing this research that I've got going for me. And I keep asking people who I think might be from the region, what's your favorite pepper?
My favorite pepper is the roasted green chili.
The
I
roasted
like,
chili.
yeah, roasted green chili pepper.
And
They roast them in New Mexico. They roast them every year in around August.
that's a medium heat pepper, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, medium heat, mild to medium.
Mhm.
Mine are very mild. I don't know if it's just because I don't get a lot of heat up here or something, but mine are, I would never say mine are, there's no heat to mine.
The way they
the
get the
flavor's
heat, it depends
amazing.
on the soil and all that. It has to do a lot with the pH, the soil, you know.
Yeah. My other peppers get really hot, but not my New Mexico sticks.
Yeah, it's not about the heat; it's about the flavor profile. You know?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
flavor is amazing.
The flavor
on those
has to do with the soil, the pH level, and all that.
And then you dry them and roast them. It changes their flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully you'll be tuning in and watching me through my Mexican adventure, Alfonso.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of poblanos, and I love me a good
Marisol.
Chileriano.
Marisol chili.
Yeah.
Let's see, I have
And actually, when they're dried, the Guajillo chilies are really good.
Okay.
Enchilada sauce.
I like green sauce. I don't care what's in it, but for some reason, green sauce always makes me happy. Whether it's Thai or Mexican or, I don't know, maybe it's because I like green.
See, I'm not a big fan of Thai green curry for some reason. I much prefer the red curry for Thai. For me, the green curry, it tastes like it should be with shrimp. And even if you put it with chicken, I taste shrimp. I don't know why. But the red curry, I don't. I love the Thai red curry with coconut.
So let's see, how many of these peppers do you know? Anaheim.
Very familiar.
Chalaca.
Chalaca, that's from further down Mexico, like the central region of Mexico.
Never grown them.
When you dry it, it's called the pasilla.
I have those actually dried.
Pasilla is more common in the state of Durango in Mexico.
Yeah, it's used for sauces such as enchilada, mole.
I have them in my pantry.
Chit, I'm not going to say this right. Chitlapin?
What is it?
Chiltepin. Chiltepin. It's a really little tiny red pepper. And
those little tiny.
I haven't heard of that one.
It's northern Mexico and southern United States.
Yeah, that's probably like around Chihuahua, Coahuila, and all that in those northern states.
Native to Arizona, Texas, Florida.
Like like Sonora.
Then there's the wiri. That's more South America. But evidently used in Mexico. Then there's the habanero, and those come now in different colors.
Yeah, habanero's like usually green or yellow.
Mm-hmm. And then there's Marisol.
Marisol.
Marisol?
Yeah, called Marisol.
Marisol.
Yeah.
That is traditional Mexican mole sauce.
Yeah, Marisol.
It means looking at the sun in Spanish.
Yeah.
Sol being sun. They're bright red.
Yeah.
When they're dried, they're called, and please excuse my pronunciation, Alfonso, gualajido.
Gualajido.
Oh, I said it right. Hey.
Yeah.
Hugely popular.
Yeah, that's what I use mainly for my. I have them in too. They're fairly big peppers too. I have them in my cupboard. I use them in the enchilada sauce.
Chimayo pepper.
Chimayo. Chimayo. It's from New Mexico. Chimayo.
New Mexico.
Yeah, it's Chimayo. It's actually northern New Mexico. That's actually in the middle of an Indian reservation, like from where Taos and all that.
Mm-hmm.
The Zuni in the Navajo reservation.
Cool. Yeah, we visited there when we were out west.
Because Chimayo has they have a church called El Santuario de Chimayo, the sanctuary of Chimayo.
Oh, cool.
The church there.
It says to allow the chilies to remain on the plant until mature. Completely red. And Serrano, I like Serrano.
Serrano, yeah, Chile Serrano, yeah, that's more common in northern Mexico.
There's something called a Chilhuaco amarillo.
Chihuahua amarillo, yellow.
Yeah. hmm and they also come in black or brown and red. Um, and I don't say this correctly either. How do you pronounce an X in Spanish?
X,
Yeah,
like what S, like
O
salt, like
O A
X.
X A C A N, Oaxacan.
Oaxacan, Oaxaca,
Oaxaca?
like
Oaxaca.
Oaxaca, like it's a state in Mexico, Oaxacan.
Yeah, that's from that region.
Yeah, that's more closer to the southeast region of Mexico, more closer like to Chiapas, Guatemala region, all that.
Okay, so it's down southern Mexico.
Yeah, southern Mexico, like more closer to Central America, like Oaxaca, Chiapas,
And I've got
Quintana Roo.
Pequin.
What is it?
Those are the little.
Pequin. They
Ti-
look like jalapenos.
Yeah, Tehuacan.
Teoquan. Okay.
Tehuacan.
30,000 to 60,000 shoe. So they're pretty hot.
Yeah, the further down, the more hotter the shows are gonna be down there.
Yeah. So that's a rule of thumb. The further south you go, the worse they're going to be.
Yeah.
The
The hotter
Ancho.
it gets.
Yeah, because further down Mexico is more tropical. Because you're much closer to the equator, too.
Yeah, so it gets hotter as you get closer to the equator.
Yes.
Then we have the Arbol.
Chile de árbol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the
That means the
Casabel.
chile de árbol means like chili from the tree.
They go deep red. It's good in chili, salsa, and hot sauces. And the Casabel Entero.
Casabel entero.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a cherry pepper almost, only they're black.
Ooh.
1,500 to 2,500 SHU shoe. So they're less hot than a jalapeno. So those might be interested. It says smoky. The taste is slightly smoky and woody, with tobacco and nut undertone. To complement the sweeter and fruitier peppers, and helps to create complex flavor profile.
Sounds delicious.
Guajillo. I can't pronounce that. Guajillo. Guajillo.
What?
Guajillo.
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 Yeah. Double L has a Y sound in Spanish, a double L. Because
Right.
I speak both. Especially at work, where I work now, and the ladies in the thrift store I work at, they only speak Spanish.
That is when it's dried. They call it the. It hints of berry and tea flavors. But when you dry it, they call them Mirasol peppers. Japones.
Chipotle?
Japones.
Japones?
It's a Japanese.
Japonés.
Japanese. Yeah.
Yeah, Japonés.
Japones.
Yeah.
Originally from Japan, but adopted in Mexico. Very well.
Yeah, that also grow in the southern region of Mexico too, like more close, like
He's a wealth of knowledge. You're wonderful, Alfonso. And of course the
That was a
jalapeno.
handy.
Yeah, the mulatto
chile molado.
is a dried poblano.
Yeah, that's like northern Chihuahua, northern region of Mexico, like around the border states.
And I've got something just called pasilla negro,
Was it
a black pasilla. Pasilla negro.
pastilla negro?
Mm-hmm. Oh, little raisin. That's where it tastes.
Uh-oh. Stop the
Uh-oh,
train.
did you derail?
Oh no.
It got on couple. Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Here's a new one.
We have an
for you.
accident.
Puya, P-U-Y-A. Puya chili.
Booyah.
And that's the last one on my list. So that's what I've got seed for so far.
Oh wow.
And
I've grown a buena mulata the last few years, and it's a beautiful purple plant, pepper.
Mhm.
and then it goes into like this fleshy tone. It's a little creepy. It looks like fingers. I put them in a jar. They were beautiful peppers. They were dark purple, and I pickled them and I put them in a jar, and then they all went like this fleshy tone. It looked like a bunch of like fingers.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it got uncoupled and made a mess.
Oh no.
So what I've been doing is upgrading my couplers to 3D printed knuckles.
Oh, clever.
Yeah, because originally they come with these hooking loops, and which they're not very stable. They're not strong enough to hold up, under a lot of tension. So these break off.
Right. Oh, that's clever. Yeah. No, it's amazing like with the 3D printer you can just go in and
Yeah, because
make
these
what you need to.
couplers, they're like $25 each.
Oh,
That's how much they are.
wow.
that's a really interesting hobby.
Yeah, it's nice that you could 3D print parts for it.
For sure.
It's
Yeah.
instead of
Now
having to
those
spend.
are those usually online? Like you can already find the plans for them and then just download it, or do you have to
Yeah,
design it yourself?
you could download them from
Okay.
thingiverse.com.
Mm-hmm.
And then also if you know CAD software like SketchUp or AutoCAD, whatever you need 3D modeling, you can modify them.
Tinkercad's the one they use at
Yeah,
the library, yeah.
yeah, you can modify them. Like I can modify it to make special adapters and whatever.
Very cool.
So well, I've got two of you captive here, and probably about another 8 or 9 people captive. If I'm competing with a group of homesteaders that I'll go live in that live club, what night do you think would be a good night to change to? I have a
I have
lot of
yet to
people
figure
who
that
come
out.
and watch later, but half
Um,
the
I
joy,
find
joy
Tuesday
is
nights are pretty quiet,
Tuesday nights
Wednesday nights are
and during the
quiet.
day,
during the day,
mornings.
mornings, really. So Suzanne, when are you free to help moderate?
But I know I work during the week. I work on Thursdays, especially Thursday. I have to go to the store. Then during the week in the morning, I normally hit the trails, walking on the trails.
Yeah, it wouldn't be in the morning because that's working hours, and now we'll be going to cardio rehab.
Right.
It's hard. That's the thing is once I lost my Thursday night slot, and then it's just like trying to find. There's so many channels. Thursday night's the worst. Thursday night is the busiest because what happens is you get the first people starting at 5, and then everyone just kind of rolls over into the next one at 6, and then it rolls into the next one at 7, and then rolls into the next one at 9. So you're getting not only that channel's viewers, but everyone from the other previous viewers all kind of rolling in together, and they're all chatting, and sometimes the chats carry on into the next chat and stuff like that, right? So,
I'd love to be a
um,
part of that. Suzanne says she can work around me.
I mean,
Suzanne's
they have that all pretty much,
booked up.
booked up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then on Saturdays, I normally do my lives. I do my virtual concerts on Saturdays.
Well, after being at a festival all day, all we're doing
Oh,
when we
yeah.
get home is pass out. Sundays I work at Home Depot. And until my cardiac rehab is over, that's 3 days a week during the week. But I'm
Yeah.
thinking maybe Tuesday would be good. I have plenty of people come and watch, but they all watch after we're off the air. And half the joy I get is interacting with people.
Well, that's what makes a live fun is having the live interaction. And honestly, that's one of the reasons why I haven't been able to pick a night because every time I pick a spot or time slot, there's already a bunch of people. And sometimes they're like, oh, I'll just go ahead anyways. I'm like, yeah, but I want to be in that live too.
I want to be live too, and I
So
want to be able to go visit another live.
I
And
want to be in that live. Yeah, right. Like if, there are a few, I'm kind of in and out of people's throughout the week or whatever, but there's usually like 2 or 3 throughout the week that I'm usually in. I know the crowd in there, we have a good time. And you just kind of get used to it, right? And so, I just am now, I've decided I'm just going to do pop-up lives whenever. I'm not going to really
You know
pre-schedule
that
too
one
much.
live you came and came to? That was probably one of my most
Yeah.
successful lives recently. And I was just, what did I do? In the middle of the day, I got lonely or whatever, and I just opened the
See, that's what
camera.
I'm saying. Middle of the day, there's a lot of people that are retired or working from home, and they'll pop open another window while they're working. And sometimes if I'm home and especially if I'm, sewing and whatever, I like to have something going on in the background. So
Yeah, I've got true crime stories going while I'm making sure. We just had that conversation. And
yeah.
Charlie, he's over there working on serious software development. And
Oh yeah.
he listens with half an ear. And when something outrageous, they're talking about something outrageous, he'll go, "Who does that?"
What
Or,
are you li-
Hey,
what are
do
you
you guys
listening
do you guys
to?
have a 3D printer?
no.
No,
No.
but I have access at the library. Our library, we're allowed to use the 3D printers.
Yeah, because the one in my place they're very limited, like on the print time. Like you can only do small parts.
Yeah, I think ours is up to, I think it's like 3 hours at a time.
I wouldn't even know how to use one. You know, I'm such an old fart. I don't like the new technology. I don't even look at it.
We learned how last year. The library was doing a program called Makers Making Change, and so it's a nonprofit company out of Vancouver, and they make adaptive devices for people. And so they have all kinds of different files and everything that you can download. And so it was a program that they were doing, and the students could get volunteer hours. And so I took my daughter and some of her friends, and we went to a few of the different programs they had there, helping make adaptive devices, adaptive toys for kids that can't push buttons or switches, and then they also did a turtle project, which I talked about on my live briefly. So apparently, turtles will nest where other turtles are, and they're very particular, and they can tell if it's a fake turtle, so they have to be very specifically designed. So they got these files, and so the Toronto Conservation Society kind of put out a call for help, and then the Brampton Library was one of them that accepted the challenge, and they just went through and printed a bunch of the turtles. So some of the turtles would come in like one or two pieces, some of them were like 6 pieces, like the snapping turtles and different things. They were pretty big. And so then what would happen is, you would help me there and pick which parts of the turtle, and then you'd come back in and glue them together, sand them down, painted them, and then they put them out into nature, and it attracts turtles to nest in safe areas instead of like on the other side of a highway or things like that. So,
Cool.
um,
I have a tortoise. Have you seen him
cool.
in any of my videos? His name is Hannibal.
Yep.
Because he likes meat.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the pet store, I do reptile rehab. And
Okay.
the pet store called me and said, we have a cherry head tortoise. They're from South America, and they only get like that big. And they said he's getting really bumpy shell, and no one's going to buy him because the shell's misshapen. And I said, well, you're feeding too much protein. How much protein are you giving him? And they said, oh, we give him a baby mouse every day.
Ooh.
And I'm like, you should be giving him that like every week or 2 weeks. I mean, they don't need that much protein. That's why your shell's misshapen. They said, well, just come get him. And this is a fairly expensive pet if you were to buy him. So I brought Hannibal the Cannibal home. And for the last 5 or 6 years during the summer, he lives out in my herb garden that's fenced in. And when the nights go below 50, we bring him in. So now he's in the house. And he is so amusing. And if you've never interacted with a tortoise, they communicate with you. They blow air, they squeak, they chirp. Very curious. Now I can pick him up, I hold him, and he puts his head up for a kiss. He blows air on my lips, and I go, mwah, and he blows back.
That's so cute.
Oh, and he bobs his throat, and my hearing's bad enough I can't hear him chirp anymore, but he just chirps in delight and wants all the hugs and kisses he can get. He likes his back rubbed.
Aw.
So neat. They learn their names. They problem solve. They climb. If you look online, you can see videos of snapping turtles climbing chain link fences to get to the other side to go lay because someone's built a fence around their nesting area.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while, David.
Landing's scary because they'll hit the ground and then they got to flip over.
Yikes.
David Gray, welcome in, hon.
My sister had a pet turtle for a while. My brother-in-law accidentally ran it over and he thought he had killed it, and then it came back to life, and then he brought it home. And they had it in their backyard for like the whole season. And he just puttered around in the backyard, and she had food out for him and everything. And then all of a sudden he just disappeared one day. So she figured he must have gone back down the lane where they'd found him. And then the next spring, she's out working in the garden and gets the scare of her life as he emerges from the soil. She did not realize that he had just gone into hibernation. So they had him quite a bit. Their last name was Poole, and so they named him Mr. Turtle.
Turtle Pool.
But yeah, and they have them, like we have them down at the end of our pond, and yeah, it's amazing. They like just dig themselves down into the mud to overwinter.
Fish
And
do
then they
that
just
too. That are
hang out
shallow
in the
water.
mud and then
Yeah.
come up. It's crazy. There's a few turtles that are down there. You'll see them out basking on the logs and stuff.
Are they sliders, like red ear sliders, yellow ear sliders? Is that what they are?
Snapping.
Or snappers? Yeah, they live a long time.
We give them their space.
Yeah.
When my parents lived in Florida, one day they were in the living room and they looked out the window and they're like, "What the heck is that?" And so they went out onto the beach and there was this like a leatherback turtle who had decided to nest right there. So they took some pictures. It was about 1,200 pounds. And so then I think someone called the authorities or whatever, and they came in and they ended up like roping the area off and everything. But oh my God, that thing was enormous.
We used to volunteer with the wildlife people in Florida, and one year for the 4th of July, we went out to Pompano Beach, which is where the big sea turtles come in to
We were in
nest.
Boca.
Yeah, so we're close to that. And you go out and you sit on the beach and you protect the nest. And when they find turtle nests, that they put flags so you know where not to dig or where not to drive your cars and whatever. And we guarded the nests against drunks. People coming off the beach thinking it'd be fun to dig up a nest or whatever. And we're able to see what kind of tortoise was that? Is the leatherback that's almost at extinction? Is it the leatherback?
I think so. And they're huge. Yeah, I lived in Pompano for a year and a half and then Boca for a year and a half.
Yeah, so you know where we were. And
right on the pier.
Back and went over the first dune, and right behind it were the high rises, and now they tell people if you could see the high rise from the ocean, you have to turn your lights off at night. There's, because you don't get turtles that direction. But we watched her most of the night dig that nest, and it was as big as our living room. I kid you not. It's
crazy.
The hole was huge, and she went in and she did her thing, and then she covered them up, and we're just sitting there just fascinated. We stopped like 4 groups of people from coming down and wanting to kick sand at her or whatever. So when she finished, she turned around and she started to head back to the ocean, and this animal was so exhausted. I mean, it took everything she had to go in and dig that nest and lay, and she would take 2 or 3 steps and she'd collapse. And of course, everyone was gathering around her, all the other volunteers saying, "Come on, girl, come on, girl." And then she'd get up and she'd
got this.
It was so rewarding, and I cried when she went into the water.
Yep.
And I was like, "Bye."
It's been a relief.
I hope you come back next year, But I'm a nut. I just enjoy wildlife, and
Oh yeah, it's fascinating. I remember seeing the turtles, and I can't remember exactly which ones they were when we were in Hawaii, and they were coming up onto the beach. And we all got kicked off. We'd driven like 2 hours to go to the black sand beach. They're like, "No, everyone needs to leave this part of the beach."
Hey, look what I have here.
The turtles were coming up.
What's that?
A piece of rail.
Oh, a real piece.
Wow.
Yeah, I had it when I was in college. One of the faculty gave me this.
Oh, wow. That's a great doorstop.
I didn't know it'd be a doorstop.
Well, lift it while you're doing your yoga.
Yeah, but it is kind of heavy. Imagine having a full section.
I
Oh,
can't
wow.
imagine the crews that put the railroads together having to lift and tote this stuff around the way they did.
Oh,
Yeah.
crazy. They didn't have to do yoga. Well, they should have done yoga after, for sure.
Yeah.
Then
It's not a great
That was
TV.
another thing was,
I
oh,
got this rail
wow.
spike too. That got it grind up, shiny.
That is beautiful. That
Yeah,
is very shiny.
yeah. Normally you don't see rail spikes like this shiny, right?
No.
I got it in college.
Yeah, we walk by the rail all the time. At train tracks around here.
So we've been at this for about 2 hours, which is about my limit. And I want to thank Brampton Gardener for coming in, Rochelle, and
Thanks for
brightening
having
my
me.
day. You're quite an inspiration. Now I'm going to have to get on the not to
Get
crack
on the
too many,
yoga train.
get on the
Yeah.
yoga train.
I'm thinking because so every year I do it, and last year I usually put up a video beginning of January saying, "Hey, it's gonna be yoga again." I actually had some video of Dexter doing yoga with me. He does a great down dog,
Well,
and
maybe we can start that. I'll join you for the yoga. Look, there's something I've done recently. Can you see?
so
That's
I
see.
think I'm gonna go back and do her first ever 30-day program if it's still up there on there. I think it's called 30 Days of Yoga. I think that was what she called her first program because it's the only one I haven't done.
I wrote it down so I
So
can
so
look it up
yeah,
and do it.
January 2nd that starts, and then it's just for some reason, like if it's like, oh, I'm just gonna pick a random one here and there, it's harder to stick with it. But when it's, you got a list and you got your little calendar and your stickers, it's oddly motivating.
Oh,
And then
well,
when
you
you go on like Facebook and everyone's talking about, oh, I love this thing, we did today, and oh, this pose, I cried and I had a release and whatever, and you're like, dang, I haven't done it yet. You got to get in there. And it does motivate you to want to try the different.
I probably would need a lot of emotional support. So every now and then, if you don't mind, pop up and say, "Are you doing your yoga?" I don't know. It's just
I'll harass you. Yeah.
please do.
But
Um,
she has like yoga for beginners and stuff on there. And then, some days you don't really feel like getting down on the floor. There's chair yoga. And if yoga is too much to start with, look into Tai Chi or Qigong, which is slower, but it's actually a standing meditation. And Qigong is actually a medicine.
cool,
It is
cool.
considered a
Should I eat a gummy before I do it so I get nice and loose?
energy medicine. I would not recommend.
Actually, that's the only way
Maybe
I
before
sleep.
meditation.
It's the only way I can sleep. Tell you the truth,
Yep.
yeah. What is it called? Omega 9? Is that what I'm on, Charlie? That's the only one that's legal in Georgia.
Oh, yeah. Here, everything's legal. You can grow them.
Well, if it weren't so darn cold, I'd come join you. But
It is darn cold.
it
It
is
is.
darn cold.
It's much colder here where I'm at.
So I started out in New England where we got
Yeah.
snow. Then I lived in South Florida where you sweat all the time. And now I'm kind of in the middle in Georgia where we get a little bit of everything. So
Yeah. I'm originally from Alaska.
really? What
I was
part?
born in Fairbanks.
Oh,
I
And
heard
that's
that
where
in
my
Alaska you
parents.
get like 24 hours of darkness in the winter, then 24 hours of daylight in the summer in Alaska.
I don't know
Yeah,
if
you get
I
about 3 hours in the winter. Yeah, it's pretty
I thought it
miserable.
was
You walk
nighttime
to school with a
24/7
flashlight.
I thought it was nighttime 24/7 in the winter in Alaska.
Delta 9, yes, Suzanne.
You get about 3 hours of daylight
Three
in the
hours.
southern part. Yeah, about 3 hours. The middle of the day, it lightens up and then it gets dark again. But in the summer, yeah, it doesn't get dark at all. It's crazy.
That
Yeah.
would really mess up your circadian rhythm, from what I'm hearing.
That's why they drink.
People who are native there, they found a way to survive it.
That's why they drink. That's how you go to sleep. Yeah, but then I grew up in Oregon. That's where I spent, most of my growing up, all my schooling and everything was in Oregon. And then I moved to Florida for 3 years, and then I met my husband, and I'm in Canada. So
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 you
I've
what
lived
got
all
you to
over.
Canada?
My husband, he was from here, so Yeah.
Oh,
So you've
you-
lived both in the United States and Canada. Do you have any pros and cons to each place that you can give us an idea? Which did you enjoy living in the country?
Florida.
You liked Florida?
Loved it.
Really? You can have it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I would come home from work and I would go out and go for a swim in the ocean and then do whatever I had to do, dinner and whatever. And then I'd go for a swim in the pool and hit the hot tub and then come in and have a shower and go right to bed. I swam at least twice a day, almost every day.
Nice.
Yeah, I loved it. And then for work, I would drive when I was in Boca, I was working in Fort Lauderdale, some of it, and I would leave early just to drive A1A and not, not take the highways and whatever. And it would just driving along the ocean every morning is absolutely gorgeous. I loved it.
What years were you there?
2000 to 2004.
And so we were there at the same time.
Oh, wow.
You may have read my
Yeah, we
words.
lived-
I know it.
I might have. We lived in, yeah, when we were in Pompano, we were on the intercoastal, just up from the Atlantic.
So did you
I
read
don't know,
the
I'm trying to
Sun
remember.
Sentinel?
My
Newspaper?
dad did.
Your dad did. Because I believe in
I
those
was in-
years I was at the Sun
I was in
Sentinel.
my early 20s. I wasn't reading the paper so
Oh,
much.
and then I went to the Miami Herald for a while and CBS News
Oh, yeah.
out of Miami.
Jeez, I was in my 20s at that time too. I graduated high school in 2002.
All right, make us feel old.
Oh.
That's really, really good, Alphonse.
So we're all at the same age, basically.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
We're
Uh,
all at the same age, man.
I wish.
enough
No,
to be your mom.
No, I don't think so.
no, I graduated in 96.
From
So,
high school. So I graduated from high school in 78.
that's when I was born.
Lisa, I thought you were my age. I thought you were like what, 36?
Born in 1978. Yeah,
I'm
that's
a,
crazy.
I'm a 60s girl.
Yeah.
So
Look,
I'm
I'm
already
40.
starting to get the harassing mail. Be prepared for this when you get up towards 64. Medicare, everybody trying to get your business for.
Oh, I'm my mom's power of attorney. I am constantly getting paperwork from everything.
Yeah. But
Constantly
anyway, so
getting
I started
paperwork.
to thank you for coming on tonight, both of you.
You're
But-
welcome.
I'm going to try
Thanks
to
for having me.
line people up for each month. I'm to see who's not busy with everyone else. And try to get Barry next time, or he's gonna. I think I'll
And
get.
keep in mind, yeah, like the holiday season's going to be tricky to get a lot
Yeah.
going. So, you might, yeah, don't be disappointed if people can't make it because there's going to be a lot going on for people.
Stuff.
Yeah, just stuff,
Family.
family stuff, parties, and I have a lot of sewing coming up. I have a sewing retreat I'm going on next weekend.
That sounds like fun. You'll have to come tell us about it.
It's
Yeah,
going to be
take
so much
video.
fun.
You do any content?
I've done like a bit of like just kind of the area and stuff there, but I don't really want to. I mean, no one else there. The rest of them are all nurses and teachers and stuff. I don't know. It's not
Oh,
kind of
I'll
a
look
nice
forward
way just to get
hearing
away
about
from all of it. Yeah, I don't want to
Alright.
impose on anybody. So
So thanks for coming in. It's always a
You're welcome.
pleasure. And as I say, you've got me inspired to do all sorts of things I should be doing. So David Gray and I are the same age.
I'll kick you in the butt.
You're gonna kick me in the
No,
butt.
actually, I'm older than both of you. I'm
All
older.
the inspiration.
I'm a lot older than both of you.
All
Oh,
right.
good.
I'm 40. Lisa is only like 36. Rachel's only
Oh,
like
yeah.
21.
Oh, yeah. And holding.
And holding. Anyway, thanks a lot, you guys, and everyone in the chat. It's good seeing you as usual. And so 2 weeks from now is when? When is my next live? On the 21st? Yeah. So when's Thanksgiving?
Yeah, they're starting doing these Thursday night craft stuff again too. So I don't know.
Missy,
my schedule is.
Thanksgiving's the 21st.
Yeah, so it's the week before Thanksgiving we'll be on.
The 14th next week.
And people have asked me to talk about my reporting day, so I'll try to remember something that I can share.
Did you work with cameras and stuff like that or no? Film?
I was forced into doing my own photography about midway through my career, and they started firing photojournalists. It's when the newspaper started downsizing. And that's a totally different skill, writing and
Yeah, photography is a very hard skill. It's a lot of work. I tell you that.
both. How are you going to have a camera ready when you're interviewing somebody? You know, it doesn't make sense. But to answer your question, Alfonso, I made 6 documentaries with a British film company, and got an international award for one of them and recognition for 2.
Wow.
2 others, and our work, we did really good work, if I don't say so myself. But we'll talk about that next time.
Yeah.
And there goes my hubby out of the room. He's done. So
Yeah,
y'all,
I do a lot of
Yeah, it's
photography
11,
and filming
almost
too.
11:30
I
for
do
me
a
here.
lot of photography and film.
okay, come on, pop into the next live, Alfonso, and tell us about what you've done.
All right.
Okay?
All right. Thank you.
All right. So everyone have a good night. Be
Good
well.
night.
And if you can't be
You
good,
too.
be good at it. All right. Bye now.
Bye.